Hello students, welcome back to Deeplogy YouTube channel, Abhishek sir की channel. And after a long time you are seeing the vaibhavi ma'am. उसका आवाज़ आती थी, अभी उसकी वीडियो आ रही है. कैसा लग रहा है कमेंट सेक्शन में कमेंट कर लो. And I felt so much happy that you guys have wished me on the Teachers' Day, and he has conveyed to me. I felt so much unexpressed feelings in my heart that we are apart. Like most of the viewers of this YouTube channel is from UP, and I am from Karnataka, and it is all about 20 like 2000 2000 kilometers far away, but we have that great bond between us. And one more thing, I want to congratulate the Abhishek sir, where in his offline the 15 toppers has came in the CBSE board 2025 of 10th. In that, 11 toppers from his class, and it's all about his potential for making an average student to make an topper. And we need all the teachers to be focused and work on the students, not on themselves. And he's one of them. I congratulate him a lot. And आज हम कर रहे हैं chapter number 7, that is biology. How do organisms reproduce? How do organisms reproduce? A chapter है. And there are some conditions you to start this video. You need to have a blank page. Okay, there is nothing to be worried like कैसा आता है क्वेश्चन, एनसीईआरटी कब पढ़नी है, वीडियो कैसा देखना है, नोट्स में you have to make or not. Yes, notes of course you have to make in a blank page. Just write it what I'm writing. And तुमको भी पता है that how the questions are framed, and we'll also give all the sample question papers which from previous year and model question paper, etc. From this year, we will make this Deeplogy YouTube channel to the next level from all our teachers of Deeplogy. Okay. Okay. Then ensurement should be given from your side that you have took the blank page and sat for seeing this video. So आज हम शुरू करें that how do organism reproduce. So first we need to ask to ourselves some questions like why do organism reproduce? मतलब ऑर्गेनिज्म क्यों रिप्रोड्यूस करते हैं, क्यों करने की क्या जरूरत है क्या? Is it essential? If the person can't reproduce, can't he live alive in this earth? He can, right? So it is not that much essential how it is essential like nutrition. If we didn't eat for a very great while, we can't live. If we didn't respire, we can't live. ऐसा थोड़ी नहीं है ना, है ना? Then why do organism reproduce? कारण क्या है, reproduce करने के कारण क्या है? And we know that in the process of reproduction there is a lot of energy which is spent. And why the organisms which why they are doing this? So you can write 2 points. मैं एक कहानी से तुमको समझा देती हूँ that in most of the families and middle class families as us here तो ऐसा होता है. Okay, the grandparents will say to their daughter or a son to give their granddaughters or grandsons. Okay, why means that he or she, which is a granddaughter or a grandson, will shine in their future and represent that we have one family like this, existed like this, and they have came through like this, you know, they will make some future, and they want their son or their daughter to do that. Understanding? So as an organism, you think the species wants its own species, matlab its own future or its own offsprings to rule the future, and it want its species to be alive in the future. समझ रहे हैं ना? So how can you write in a sentence way? That is to maintain their own species for future or for survival, you know. And we can give another example. We have all heard that we came from monkey to human, monkey to human. And this is not happened just in 1 minute. It took so much of years, so much of hundreds of years, thousands of years it took, है ना? ऐसा थोड़ी नहीं है that एक सेकंड में हो गई, मैं मंकी से ह्यूमन हो गई, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा थोड़ी नहीं है ना. Each step there is some variations, and these variations come from reproduction. Okay, and this variation helps to become from monkey to human. So from becoming from monkey to human is evolution. Okay, so can you see just a brief I am given that how one topic is interlinked. रिप्रोडक्शन होता है, रिप्रोडक्शन में क्या होता है, जेनेटिक चेंजेस होता है, जेनेटिक वेरिएशंस होते हैं. व्हाट इज मीन बाय जेनेटिक वेरिएशंस? फॉर एग्जांपल, this is my father and this is my mother. Am I looking like same like my father? No. Am I looking like same like my mother? No. There is some variations over me, right? And while the zygote is fertilization, while it is becoming a zygote, while it is undergoing fertilization process, there is a DNA which is giving an information that the product should be like this. Like for example, मैं तुमको एक बार में समझा देती हूँ that this is cell. This cell has nucleus. Okay, nucleus में normal days में क्या होता है? Like this. Okay, this is called chromatin. Chromatin. But उसका जब मन बढ़ता है that I wanna divide into two. I wanna divide into two. इस प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोलते हैं? सेल डिवीजन बोलते हैं. करेक्ट? यहाँ पर भी न्यूक्लियस है, यहाँ पर भी न्यूक्लियस है, ठीक है. बट न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्या है? क्रोमैटिन है. बट इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ सेल डिवीजन, दिस क्रोमैटिन which is like this will convert into like this. This is chromosomes. And we all know that chromosomes in human, they are 48 chromosomes. There are 48 chromosomes, है ना? And इस chromosomes में क्या होता है? DNA होता है. Let me show you. Somewhat like this. DNA somewhat looks like this. This each line represents gene. This is called line, and this is called gene. Gene की मतलब, this one line, if for example it represents height of the person, this will second line represent the eye color of the person. This represent hair color of the person. ऐसा कुछ सब कुछ हमारे में क्या क्या कैसे कैसे होना चाहिए, this gene, this DNA gives information. ठीक है, समझ रहे हैं ना? Okay, this gene has probability of 50-50%. Like ये दो हो गए ना, ये एक जीन है एंड इसमें दो प्रोबेबिलिटी है. वन आया है दैट इज फ्रॉम मदर एंड वन इज फ्रॉम माय फादर. देयर इज 50-50% प्रोबेबिलिटी. बट it's not always possible that it has 50-50 probability. If the gene itself has 50-50% probability, it will give a mixed compound, है ना? But it's not always be true. Once the father may be dominant in some genes, in some mother DNA, mother gene can be dominant in some things. So here we have two options. That two options are called traits. तुम समझ रहे हो ये कहानी को कैसे कैसे अंदर हो रहा है ना? So first we know that from monkey to human it's an evolution. ये evolution होना चाहिए, variation चाहिए. Variation, some changes. Variation क्या कैसे होता है? Reproduction से होता है. Reproduction which is means genetic variation. मतलब मैं बिल्कुल जैसा नहीं हूँ, मैं father कैसा है ना? Like if I was like my father and there is no difference between my facial or face or body structure between my father and me. There is some difference and you can identify ये उनकी father है और ये मैं हूँ, है ना? ऐसा तो identify कर सकते हैं ना? And in the normal cell ये न्यूक्लियस होता है. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्या होता है? क्रोमैटिन होता है. ओके, व्हेन द सेल वांट्स टू डिवाइड इटसेल्फ, which the process is called cell division, उस टाइम पे क्या आता है, एक क्रोमैटिन क्रोमोसोम्स बन जाते हैं. क्लियर कट, these are the shapes which we chromosomes are represented. If you take these chromosomes, एक chromosome में क्या होता है, DNA होता है. DNA looks like this. In humans we have 48 chromosomes. Okay, DNA looks like this. A, like this. Okay, this is one gene, this is two gene. Like it represents height, means it represents high color. This is hair color, and like this every person has these type of gene. One gene. Okay, and the gene has two traits. This is one trait and this is two traits, and the one dominates the over, or it may be a 50-50% chance where it blends. So what I meant, why I explained this much kahani means, we have the next chapter and it will be helpful for you, you guys also, that this is all how it is interlinked. Okay, and science को ऐसा मजा आता है, like you need to learn in this manner only. Like अंदर 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 घुसना चाहिए, then only मजा आता है ना. And the second thing, there must be a genetic variation. For that, reproduction is essential. So we can write to introduce some genetic variations. Genetic variations. Matlab, okay, if my father's DNA, for example, if you take like it is ATC, this is some type of information which is given, and my mom's DNA is giving TCA. ठीक है, and in my DNA there is ACT. So is that information is just passed out? No, it is become some variations. मतलब एक जोक में तो मैं सुना दूं क्या, everyone, not like everyone, most of the persons we have been seen that someone will copy, है ना. If one person is copying from another person, he is original one and he is copying one. When he is copying, he can't copy everything, comma and every word like forward to word. There is some error which happens from this person, है ना. एंड ऐसा ही डीएनए पर भी जब फर्टिलाइजेशन हो जाता है, इंफॉर्मेशन जब ट्रांसफर होता है, देर इज सम एरर फॉर्म एंड दैट एरर लीड्स टू वेरिएशंस. समझ रहे हो, वेरिएशन का मतलब क्या, देर इज सम वेरिएशन, है ना. ऐसा कांस्टेंट थोड़ी होता है, ऐसा कांस्टेंट होते तो सब लोग ऐसा ही दिखते, सेम ही दिखते. ऐसा नहीं है ना, वी आर सो मच डिफरेंट. अभिषेक सर की फेशियल which is face is much more different, and my face is much more different, and your face is much more different, and this is what I mean to say. And इतना कहानी बताने की क्या जरूरत थी तुमको, नेक्स्ट चैप्टर में समझ आता है that why I need and why I have to tell this much to ensure just a thing, just a small thing. Okay, this concept is clear. Can we move towards the next? Okay, now we understood इतना सब होता है. Okay, do you need to know, इसके अंदर मैं बोली क्रोमैटिन होता है. क्रोमैटिन के अंदर क्या होता है, क्रोमैटिन के अंदर क्या होता है, डीएनए होता है. डीएनए तो सब लोग जानते हैं. डीएनए की फुल फॉर्म क्या है, डीऑक्सी राइबो न्यूक्लिक एसिड. क्या है, डीऑक्सी राइबो न्यूक्लिक एसिड. There are so many questions can be framed from this, and they can confuse you by telling RNA. RNA is different from DNA. Okay, for a great information, if I give you, let you take an example of virus. वायरस की एग्जांपल दो. वायरस के अंदर डीएनए भी हो सकता है, आरएनए भी हो सकता है, बट दोनों नहीं हो सकता, एक ही होता है. ठीक है. इन ह्यूमंस the some parts have RNA and some parts have DNA. क्या क्या DNA है, क्या क्या RNA है, and you will all things will be learned in the 12th and in the 11th of science. You will learn it. So now this NCRT didn't give the actual definition of reproduction, but they definitely ask what is reproduction or define reproduction. ये सब लिखना चाहिए. So reproduction is a biological process by which living organisms produces new individual similar to themselves. मतलब ऐसा नहीं होता that completely change and you will get some similarities between your parents and you, है ना? So that is what mean to say it. It ensures continuity. It ensures continuity of life on Earth and helps in evolution in species. ऐसा तुमको लिखना चाहिए. And this definition is not so complicated. It's very easy. Okay, this is one biological process, है ना? And where the new individuals, मतलब हम धरती पे आते हैं and we are similar to our parents, है ना? मतलब हम होते तो फ्यूचर होते. That is a continuity. Helps in evolution. कहानी तो इतना ज्यादा बताई थी मैं, इतना डेप्थ में भी कराई थी मैं. So no need to worry. And we have learned about DNA and what is chromatin, right? And what is chromosomes and what is genes. These all things are good to go. And let us move to the next topic, that variation. Variation क्या होता है? First I will give some example, then you can catch very easily. Okay. So imagine there is one pond. Pond समझते हैं ना? Pond तो समझ लेते हैं ना? One industry is here. Industry is so polluted, blah blah blah, and that is releasing some waste into the pond. Okay, pond has some previously originated bacteria. What is this? This is bacteria. Okay, this is bacteria. And after the asexual reproduction, the bacteria will give birth to a new individuals. Why I'm changing the color? Wait, मैं तुमको बताई थी there is some variations which will be going on. Yes or no? Variations तो है. So यहाँ पर भी हमको variations दिख रहा है. क्यों? Like these bacteria, let us assume that they are adjusted to 10 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius of hotness, which is released by the industry. But they are living, okay, in the process of producing these bacteria or due to some environmental changes. ठीक है, variations क्यों होता है? Due to environmental changes. Now we are called, now I am born in 2005 and what I'm called is Gen Z kids, है ना? But there are some persons or like someone, there are some peoples are at 1980s but they are born at 2005 or 2020 but born, मतलब ऐसा है but they are originally born in 2005, like, है ना? Why this happens? Because they have been in that surrounding, understand हो रहा है? In that environment, in that stability. So environment कैसा होता है? बच्चे ऐसा बनते हैं, है ना? ऐसा तो कहानी सुनी होगी तुम लोग, है ना? This is what I mean to say. So कुछ environment की changes से ये बैक्टीरिया बनता है and this bacteria will able to survive itself 60 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. For example, if this industry releases the water which is 49 degrees Celsius, what happens? This bacteria will survive and this will destroy themselves and they will not be alive. है ना? Why this happens? Because these changes can't be tolerated by this bacteria, right? If this same industry release 20 degrees Celsius, this bacteria will die and this will survive. Can you imagine? But ऐसा नहीं होता, variations ऐसा बढ़ता है ना, environmental changes ही होता है and that will moves always forward. मतलब यही survive करते, this will only give to a death. This will only lead to a death. So this is what variation. But Mars के लिए तुमको चाहिए क्या चाहिए? And they will ask what is variation? Define variation. इसको तो हमको लिखना पड़ेगा. So that is the differences in traits. Traits समझ रहे हो? एक जीन में 2 traits होता है ऐसे. Traits among individuals of a species caused by genetic changes. Variations play a very great role in adaptation. मतलब ऐसा environment कैसे कैसे change होता है ऐसा बनते जाते हैं लोग, ठीक है? And our future generation will always go to a AI only because that's their future and that's how the environment is. Okay, कैसे कैसे changes, environmental changes होता है, the always it will move to a forward direction that will leads to a evolution. So you need to write, it will help for adaptation and it helps for evolution purpose. लिखो, definition लिखो, जरूरी है. And what is the importance का मतलब एक this thing only you need to explain, like they need to survive in the changing environment. Environment तो change होता ही रहता है. Like आज ऐसा है, 100 years के पहले तो ऐसा नहीं था environment, है ना? And this adaptation is important and this evolution process is important. So these things are important you to note. Next we have 2 types of reproduction. Reproduction can be divided into 2 types. First one is sexual reproduction and the second thing is asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction and second thing is asexual reproduction. Fine. So asexual के बारे में हम पहले बात करते हैं. Asexual is like Xerox copy. तुम कैसे हो, मैं ही ऐसा बनती हूँ. Which means there is only one parent. Sexual has 2 parents. यहाँ पर gametes होता है. Sexual में क्या होता है? Gamete. What is the gamete? Like in humans, men have sperms and girls have eggs. When it get fertilized, it will become zygote and that will become human or baby, है ना? So the gamete is nothing but initial stage of these things. From man it is separate and from woman it is separate. They are called gamete. And जब ये होता है, like it leads to a fertilization. This process is called fertilization. जब हम जोड़ते हैं sperm और egg को, fertilization होता है. So that process, fertilization, only occurs in sexual reproduction. That's important. मतलब there is some genetic variation here. You need to write it. There is some genetic variation here. And कुछ gametes वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं है यहाँ पर. No gametes. And no fertilization. Okay, and offsprings are genetically similar होता है. There is some variations over here and they are exactly similar. Okay, so this is a great difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, and we'll just see what are the types of asexual reproduction now, and we'll go into detail in the next class. Okay, so asexual में क्या क्या आता है? पहली बात तो फिजन आता है, बडिंग आता है, फ्रैगमेंटेशन आता है, स्पोर फॉर्मेशन आता है, एंड रीजनरेशन आता है ना. इतना ज्यादा है, कुछ चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं, बिकॉज द vaibhavi मैम विल एक्सप्लेन यू इन जस्ट वन स्टोरी, एंड कहानी तो हमको लाइक याद ही रहता है, एंड दैट स्टोरी कंटेन्स ऑल दीज डिफरेंट टाइप्स, है ना, that will makes you much more easier to study. Okay, now I'll ask some questions, important questions, some previous year questions. Note it down. Okay, so this is MCQ. Okay, reason for greater similarities among are produced. Similarities, like we need to there are 4 options and we need to choose one. Okay, about the asexual reproduction, and the first option says that asexual reproduction involves only one parent, and second is it involves 2 parents, third is it involves gametes, and the fourth is no gametes. So choose any 2 options which is correct to asexual reproduction. Okay, this can be asked. And second important question is write a main difference, like what is the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction, and which species have comparatively, like the asexual will have much more greater chance to survival or asexual or sexual have. Okay, कौन जीत पाएगा ये environmental changes के लिए? Environmental changes can survive by variations if variations have happened, है ना. Variations कहाँ होता है? Sexual reproduction में होता है, asexual में नहीं होता, and you need to give one reason for that and you need to justify it. So like this the questions are framed, and if possible I will upload the PDF. Okay, thank you one and all, and we will continue by all that each term and each thing, example, exact things which will be explained. Okay, and there is no chance will be given for an invigilator to cut 1 marks, and I ensure it. And stay tuned, watch Deeplogy, and I will see you in the next video, and I'll make another 2 videos on this chapter, and in 3 videos we will end this. Okay, thank you one and all for watching this video.